Gentlemen sharing with us today. The first is Robert Faber. He's the CEO of Gold Spring. We'll also have Dennis Anderson. He's a senior engineer, as well as Scott Briscoe, a geologist. So, without any further ado, you're the gentlemen.
Thanks, Jeff. Once again, the name of the company is Gold Spring, ticker symbol GSPG. And some of you might remember that last June we attended the Redshift conference and talked about our initial gold resource report on our Comstock project in Nevada. This original resource report basically estimated only our gold resource at that time. It was an initial resource report, and it was actually on only about 1% of our property, which is about 40 acres, is where the drilling took place. The information that was contained in this positive and encouraging report really suggested to us that we needed to continue on with our drilling program. So over the course of the last 9 months, we have been focused on drilling and basically tabulating the results of those assays. And I can tell you that the assay results are very encouraging. Not only are we getting high-grade levels of gold, but we're also getting high-grade levels of silver. In fact, some of the assays that are coming back from American Assay, a third-party assay company, indicate that we have levels of gold that exceed 1 ounce per ton, and silver, some exceeding 2 to 3 ounces per ton. So the information that we're getting back is very positive. What this means to us is basically the drilling results provide significant increases in what we know as the quantities of mineralization. And on top of that, the high-grade material actually improve the economics of the project. So we continue to focus on our drilling program and to identifying the ore body that we have. Today, we intend to further discuss our progress at our Comstock project over the last 9 to 10 months, as well as laying out some of our plans going forward. Specifically, we're going to discuss the motivation for the recent permit modification that we submitted. We are going to update you on the resource reserve report, including the mineral reserve declaration report. We are going to discuss our plans for mine production, and we are going to talk about the opportunity that exists in the Comstock. As our company evolves, we continue to remain focused on our people. And as we continue to build our company, we are adding individuals that we believe will add value to what we have going on. In September, we added 2 directors. One of those directors' name is Bob Rosé. Bob has spent around 40 years in the mining industry. He's a licensed engineer, professional engineer. He spent some 20 years with Peter Kiewit, and he headed up a group with Atkins Construction, and we're really happy to have Bob as part of our team. We also added a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Jaffrey. Jonathan led the group called the Tech Foundation, a $1 billion+ foundation. Jonathan brings a network of contacts, both financial contacts, industry contacts, and including some contacts over at the Mackey School of Mine, where our friend Scott Briscoe is a graduate of. And we also have assembled a team of what I would consider of first-rate mining professionals, including both geologists, engineers, and metallurgists. And one of the things that we've been able to do successfully is associate ourselves with outside consultants and other mining company professionals that are recognized throughout the industry as the Tier 1 players. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dennis Anderson. Dennis Anderson is a senior engineer for Gold Spring. He has some 30-plus years of mining experience. He's a professional engineer. He's a licensed geologist. He's a Nevada certified environmental manager. He's spent over 26 years actually working in mining in Nevada. What am I missing? But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
Thank you, Rob. As Rob said, I want to talk about permitting, about the mineral resource and reserve report, and road to production, and a little bit about the opportunity, and Scott will follow on the opportunity. The Comstock deposit is just outside of Virginia City, and part of it was within Virginia City. Historically, the Comstock deposit produced about 8 million ounces of gold, about 200 million ounces of silver. And that is called the Silver State, and the Comstock is the reason for it. The Comstock, the Union Army called on the Comstock mine to finance the Civil War. And we did. And at the conclusion of the Civil War, Nevada was still a territory. And the senators from Nevada said, we'd like to be a state. They leveraged for statehood about 20 years earlier than they would have gotten statehood. And our flag is called, it says Nevada, battle born. We're also a silver state. And that's all a result from the mineral deposit, the world-class mineral deposit at the Comstock. The Comstock of days of old, let's see, wrong way. This is a miner from Mexico. This is a slide from the treasure of the Sierra Madre. And this is Alfredo Benito, and he delivers the line to Humphrey Bogart, "We don't need no stinking badges." And in the 1860s, there weren't any regulations regarding mining and environmental. And so, and the word environmental wasn't part of the mining language either. And then, as time went on, and industry increased in the United States, we had some problems. And then I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I remember this. In 1969, when the Cuyahoga River caught on fire. And this was kind of the environmental wake-up call for the nation. And this particular river caught on fire 10 times between the 1860s and 1969, causing economic loss. And again, it was the environmental consciousness of the United States. And this actually helped result in the Clean Water Act passage in 1972. So we do things different now with regulations. And right now we're in a permit modifications. We had permits for operating about 3 years ago. We changed the mining plan, we changed the operational plan, and we're updating the permits to accommodate the new and expanded project. The operations got a phase 1. It's a 4-year mine pit. We're working on updating the federal, state, and county permits. One of the federal permits is the Mine Safety and Health Administration regulations. The Clean Water Act, part of that was the water quality permit that we just did a major modification on. And we submitted that in February. It takes about 120 to 180 days to approve that. It's being processed now. The air permit, we're modifying the air permit for a new mill, and we'll be submitting that probably later this month or early next month. The land reclamation permit, we updated that in August last year, and we expanded the footprint where we're allowed to work